I accidentally destroyed a stranger's marriage with a single comment. It started over something small, something stupid. A woman was trying to sleep, exhausted before a huge meeting, when fireworks started cracking outside her window at 1 in the morning. Furious, she posted a complaint in her neighborhood's online group. And that's when a man she had never met decided to leave a comment. A cruel comment. A comment that would set in motion a chain of events so catastrophic, he would lose everything. She decided to play a little game with him. And he never saw it coming. The night was already a nightmare. Our storyteller, a 42-year-old woman, had been fighting a nasty bout of insomnia for weeks. Finally, she had drifted off, only to be jolted awake at 1 in the morning by the sound of explosions. Not the celebratory kind on a holiday weekend. The deeply inconsiderate kind on a random Thursday morning. Her dogs were barking, her head was pounding, and all she could think about was her alarm. It was set for 4 a.m. She had a 2-hour drive for a critical 8 o'clock meeting. Sleep wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity she had just been robbed of. Later that day, running on fumes and cheap coffee, she took a break and opened up her neighborhood group page. She typed out a quick, frustrated post. Something along the lines of, "Hey, I love fireworks as much as anyone, but can we agree 1 in the morning on a work night is not the time or the place?" She hit post and didn't think about it again. She had a long drive home, a busy evening, and a life to live. When she finally got home and checked her phone, she saw a new comment on her post. It was from some guy she didn't know. His profile picture showed a man probably in his late 30s, maybe early 40s. And his words were pure venom. He wrote that the only reason she couldn't sleep is because she was a fat pig. Now, here's the thing you need to know about our storyteller. She was feeling good about herself. She'd recently lost a lot of weight and was feeling healthier and more confident than she had in years. So this stranger's attempt to wound her with a lazy, generic insult, it didn't just fail. It backfired. It lit a fuse. She looked at his name, she looked at his smug profile picture, and she decided she wasn't going to let it go. This is where a simple neighborhood squabble turned into something else entirely. She tapped out a reply directly beneath his insult. A reply for the whole neighborhood to see. She wrote, "Listen, I'm sorry I had to end things, but I just didn't have the same feelings for you. What you're saying now is just hurtful and mean. Please stop sending me messages. Commenting on my posts is just a pathetic way to try and contact me. I told you a dozen times already. We are done. It's over." She hit send. A perfect, clean, digital headshot. She imagined him trying to explain to anyone who saw it that no, he wasn't a bitter, rejected ex, he was just a guy who liked insulting strangers online. She chuckled, closed the app, and got on with her life. Because the very next day, she had a plane to catch. She was heading out of the country for a much-needed vacation. A cruise, to be exact. The kind of trip where you leave the world, and all its petty dramas, far behind. For the next week, she was completely off the grid. She refused to pay the ship's outrageous $25 a day internet fee. The Wi-Fi in the country they visited was barely functional. She was disconnected. And it was bliss. No emails, no news, and no idea about the firestorm she had ignited back home. She was sipping cocktails by a pool, completely unaware that her one, single, sarcastic comment was methodically dismantling a man's entire life. She finally gets home, drops her bags, connects to her Wi-Fi, and opens up the app. And that's when her world explodes. Her phone buzzed so hard it nearly vibrated off the table. Notifications flooded her screen. Dozens of them. Friend requests from people she'd never met. And messages. So many messages. Her inbox was a war zone. People were pleading with her. People were threatening her. It was chaos. She started clicking through them, her heart pounding in her chest. The first ones were from a woman she didn't know. The messages were frantic, desperate. "Please, you have to tell me what's going on. How long were you with my husband? I need to know the truth. Please, I'm begging you." It was his wife. She had seen the comment. And she believed every single word of it. Then there were messages from his friends, calling her every name in the book, accusing her of being a homewrecker. And then, there were the messages from him. The man himself. They started out angry, then turned to pleading, begging her to tell his wife the truth, to admit it was all a joke. The final message from him was pure, uncut rage. He called her a vile name and told her that because she refused to tell the truth, she had just destroyed his life. She felt sick. This wasn't supposed to happen. It was a joke. A stupid, petty clapback. She immediately started typing, her fingers flying across the screen. She sent a message to both the husband and the wife. She explained everything. The fireworks, his insult, her sarcastic reply. She told them she was so sorry. She even sent them time-stamped photos from her cruise, proving she was out of the country and couldn't possibly have been carrying on an affair. She tried to fix it. She really did, but it was too late. The damage was done. And what happened next is the part one still can't believe. It turns out, her joke only landed because it was so close to the truth. The reason his wife believed a total stranger's comment without question was because she already suspected. He wasn't just a guy who was mean to people online. He was a serial cheater. And here's the final, devastating twist. When our storyteller posted her fake breakup, it set off a catastrophic chain reaction. The wife saw it and confronted her husband. But they weren't the only ones watching the drama unfold in the neighborhood group. Another woman was watching, too. A woman who was actually having an affair with him. When this other woman saw the public post, she didn't see a joke. She saw a rival. She became convinced that he didn't just have her on the side. He had yet another side piece he hadn't told her about. In a fit of jealous rage, she contacted the wife and confessed everything. She blew the lid off their entire affair, providing all the proof the wife would ever need. Our storyteller's fake affair had accidentally exposed a very real one. For the wife, it was the ultimate humiliation. It wasn't just that he was cheating. It was that the entire neighborhood was now watching the drama play out. It was the final straw. She was filing for divorce. The man's life was in ruins. His marriage was over, his affairs were exposed, and his reputation in the community was destroyed. And it all started because he decided to call a tired, frustrated stranger a name online. You have to admit, there's a part of this that feels like justice. The man was cruel, and he was a cheater. He threw the first stone with a nasty, unprovoked insult at a total stranger. His life was a house of cards built on lies, and her silly comment was just the gust of wind that blew it all down. His marriage didn't end because of her joke, it ended because it was already broken by his actions. But on the other hand, she told a lie in a public forum that had very real, very destructive consequences for people she didn't know. She played with fire and an entire family got burned. She never intended to destroy a marriage, but that's exactly what happened. So here is the question. Did this man get exactly what he deserved for his cruelty and deceit? Or did a stranger's reckless online revenge cross a line that should never be crossed?